Hello everyone. Today I want to teach you how to play the song No Woman No Cry by Bob Marley in percussive reggae. In this tutorial I'll guide you step by step into the percussive strumming technique, and by the end of it you'll strum like a real pro. So let's begin. Step 1. Let's learn the chords of the song. So the song has 4 chords: C, G, AM, and F. By the way, I'm using a low G tenor ukulele for this tutorial. However, high G works perfectly fine too. So since this tutorial is all about percussive reggae, most of the work has to do with the right hand. So let's start breaking things down there. In reggae, we accent the upbeats, and on the upbeats we strum downwards. I'll give you an example over the C chord. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So now let's take this strum and play it on each one of the chords in the order of C, G, A, M, and F. Let's do it. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and A, M. 2 and 3 and 4 and F and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Here's a quick tip for your right hand. Make sure to be as relaxed as possible. Keep the fingers together and open fist position. The strumming comes from the rotating motion of the wrist and not the elbow. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the second step in our percussive strumming pattern is adding the bass drum, which sounds like this. Now the bass drum is the biggest drum the drummers have, and they're playing it with their foot. In other words, it also can be referred to as the kick. Now let's practice the kick together in order for us to get a very nice bassy sound. First of all, keep the left hand fingers blocking the strings just for now. Open your fingers in the right hand and make it very relaxed. And tap on the left side of the bridge where the strings are meeting the bridge. Not on the wood, but right where you have the most tension, where the strings are entering the bridge. And the tapping is done with these 3 fingers, with the padded area of your fingers. And the pinky simply doesn't fit, so you just leave it out. And here's the sound you get. So what's important is to get a very bassy, low sound of a kick. This is a super tenor ukulele by Kala, so it does give quite a bassy sound because of its large body. So if you're playing a tenor ukulele or even a guitar, by the way, everything I'm teaching you here works the same for the guitar, just the chord shapes might be a little bit different. For the rest, the right hand technique is pretty much the same. So in other words, the bigger the body of the instrument, the more bass you will have. So now let's try to play only the kick without the chords on beats 1 and 3. Let's do it together. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Good job. Now let's try to play the C chord together with the kick. Remember, we strum the C chord on all the upbeats when I'm saying and. 1 and 2 and. That's when we're strumming. And the kick is on beats 1 and 3. Let's do it together. Only C. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And once again, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And. Do this exercise for the G chord, for the AM, and for the F. And now let's try to play the 4 chords C, G, A, M, and F, including the kick on 1 and 3, and the down strums on the upbeats. Ready? Let's do it. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and G and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and F. And here's an important tip. So as I told you, rest on the body of the instrument when you're doing the kick. However, when you're strumming downwards, make sure to slide the entire position of your arm upwards so towards the sound hole in order to strum downwards, because the strum needs to be around this area, around the sound hole. I would say towards the beginning of the fretboard. So try to practice the sliding. You don't have to like literally slide on the surface of the wood of the body, right? But it just kind of take the position up. So let me give you an example very slowly so you can see how it all works out. So first of all, here's my kick, right? Leaning on the wood, and then I'm shifting the position and then doing the strum. Here it comes again, bass drum, sliding it up. So you see the slide is done here. And now let's move on to step 3, the snare drum. And this is when things get really, really cool. So for the snare drum, we're going to use the chucking technique. And the chucking technique sounds like this. So if you're new to chucking and if you've never done it before, I'm welcoming you to check out my tutorial. It's a very detailed tutorial about chucking. I'll guarantee that by watching this one, you'll chuck like a pro. But in a nutshell, chucking is a percussive muting technique when you strum downwards but block the strings from sounding. As a matter of fact, chucking is the same when drummers play the snare drum. Maybe you're familiar with the sound of the snare, which sounds like gish, gish, gish. And when we listen to drums in pop and rock music, you'll notice that the snare drum is falling on beat 2 and 4. So now let's try to chuck on beat 2 and 4 together. Here we go. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and so the idea is to have as much as possible contrast between the kick and the snare. So as you can see, the kick is very low, it's very bassy, and the snare drum has a very trebly and high sound. So that's what we're after. Now, as an exercise, let's try to play the C chord with the kick, with the strums on the upbeats, down strums on the upbeats, and with adding the chuck on beat 2 and 4. Let's do it together. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And make sure to do this exercise with every chord individually. So here's a little change that I want to include. Every chord will be half a bar. So for the C chord, the counting will go 1 and 2 and then we need to shift to the G chord, which is falling on 3 and 4 and then AM 1 and 2 and F 3 and 4 and so the entire chord progression is a 2-bar chord progression. Let's put it all together and let's play the 4 chords in 2 bars. 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and to the G chord 3 and 4 and to the AM and 2 and to the F 3 and 4 and back to the C and 2 and a bit faster G to the AM F. Sounds pretty cool, right? C, a bit faster G F. So this percussive reggae pattern can be used in many other songs if you want to give them a little bit of a reggae twist. As for this song, these 4 chords C, G, AM and F can be used through the entire song, including the verses and the chorus. So give it a shot and enjoy playing. That was it, guys. Leave a comment and a like and share this video with your friends. And if this video made you hungry for more, I'm welcoming you to check out my Patreon, where I'm giving weekly live classes, releasing tabs, fingerstyle arrangements and much more. So join the party. The link is in the description. See you guys there. Till next time. Bye bye.